My name is Papa Arkurst. I'm a connector, optimizer, and a leadership enthusiast. Sounds like a mouthful, right? Well, I enjoy connecting people. I enjoy connecting ideas. I enjoy connecting entities. It's something that I've always enjoyed since I was a child. I probably just found the right words for it. And so I connect through facilitating. I connect through training. I connect through just meeting people and just being a person. I like to call it just being human. And the beautiful thing about the way I connect is sometimes I connect people who don't even know that they know each other. It's like meeting somebody, you kind of connect with their energy and say, you know what, I think you need to meet this person. I think you need to find that person. And they usually connect and they find out that, wow, where were you all my life? So I think it's a gift and I love it. I call myself an optimistizer, which is a word that I coined because I believe in dealing in hope or sowing optimism into people. And how do I do this? Simply by sharing stories and telling people about situations just to show them that it is possible. I think one of the saddest things or saddest tragedies in most people's lives is the fact that they think that certain things are impossible when they've just not been done. And so I like to be that channel or that medium through which people can just realize that it is possible and that they can do it. I'm an optimistizer and I'm an optimist and I'm an optimizer and I like to optimize people. So I like to bring the best out of people. And for those who know me or close to me, sometimes they think, Papa will stress you, Papa will give you pressure. But the whole idea behind it is I see where people see where they are or where they've been. I see what is possible and where they're going. And it breaks my heart when I see that they're not even aware. And it's not to say I want to rush the process. I don't do that. When I feel you have potential and I feel that you're avoiding it because of fear or because you think it's not possible, I feel sometimes that it's my job to help, coach, encourage, push, just so that you can realize that you're beautiful and realize the amazing things that God has put within you. I'm a leadership enthusiast because I believe that everything rises and falls on leadership. And I'm very excited. I've always been a student of leadership. I'm still learning about leadership. And I share where I can. So that's basically what I do. That is who I am. And if I make a little change based on that, I'm grateful for it. But really, this is what I enjoy doing. This is what I love doing. This is who I am. And this is how I live day by day. Yeah. These days, it's hard for me to separate personal and professional because my life is interweaved. What I do personally is sort of what I do professionally. What is success? Achieving what it is that you must achieve, I guess. So when I was younger, I subscribed to what the world subscribes as success. Money, nice cars, nice good living. But my view has changed very drastically. Now I've become more purpose driven. And so for me, success in the first place is knowing what your purpose is, or you are designed to do on this earth. Understanding what your assignment is, which I believe is your pain, right? Or your problem you're supposed to overcome. Learning and finding the tools that you've been given, refining them, building them to fix those problems, which for me, I think are your gifts, your talents, building them into skills, into mastery. And so for me, success would be knowing my purpose and getting closer and closer into achieving my purpose in the best way that I was supposed to do. So as God designed it. I think, maybe I should say this with a bit more conviction, that my purpose has somewhere around optimistizing and optimizing people. So that's why I love training, I love coaching, I love facilitating. My pain, my assignment, I believe is, because for me, what brings me pain is ignorance, and not ignorance in the, and I don't mean ignorance. For me, is not a lack of knowledge. We all lack some knowledge, and we're all still learning. But ignorance is a refusal to open your heart to learn. It's a commitment or a conviction that you know where you do not know, right? And for me, just that opportunity to share, enlighten, discuss weak minds is a gift that I hold dear. So for me, that is success. Even if I was the poorest man in the world, but I could do that, I would be a very happy man, and I'll consider myself on my way to success. Interesting question. Easy answer, Jesus. But first and foremost, let me put it in very simple terms, which might almost seem silly. A leader is one who can lead. What does it mean to lead? For me, I believe it's taking somebody or some people or a group of people from one state to another. So it could be destination, it could be transformation, it could be growth. You need to be committed to learning how to influence a person or a group of people from one state to another, based on a conviction you have, an ideology you subscribe to, values that guide you, and what you believe is good for them. Where does leadership start from? Self. First and foremost, I think it's hard for you to take somebody where you've not been. And so as a leader, you yourself need to know where you're going. You need to understand yourself. You need to understand yourself as a person, because leadership is people business. And understand how to take you where you need to go. And see where it is you need to go. Then you can help others to get there. Leadership requires a bit of sacrifice, because you may have to do things that may not be comfortable with you. You see, it's easy to be competitive and want to succeed on your own. It's a bit more difficult when you're trying to get an entire team to succeed together. And it means leadership. Leadership is not a popularity contest, so it's not about making or pleasing everybody. It's about loving, caring, empathizing with everybody. When you're a leader, people are asking you 3 questions before they decide if they're going to follow you. Do you care? Can I trust you? Can you take me where I need to go? Which means, first and foremost, you have to have a certain level of compassion. Even when you look tough, there must be a genuine desire to make the lives of those who follow you better and to take them to a better place. When I say better place, I don't mean feed them fish. I'm talking about developing them to learn how to fish themselves so they don't need you anymore, right? We're going to get into that. So genuine care. If you care about somebody, and this is where I find it very interesting, because you see, if you look at our context, for example, if we talk about, Ghana or Africa or anywhere else, if you're not building a place where your children and your children's children can thrive, how can you say you love them? And if you're not building a place where your followers can thrive, then how can you say you love them? So compassion is always important, right? Do you care about your people? Empathy, putting yourselves in their shoes, which means identifying, understanding, connecting, trying to understand their world, discussing. And it's a place we need to strive to get to and get better. Trust is talking about integrity, which means you say one thing and you try to do exactly what you say. Not being two-faced, being honest, being direct, being truthful. And trust takes time to build, but it takes very little to lose or to destroy. And as a leader, you need to remember that every single day you're being watched. Can your people trust you? Can you be dependable? Do you show integrity? Being honest about the fact that you make mistakes and owning up those mistakes, taking accountability, owning them and trying to do better. And the third one, can you take me where I need to go? That requires discernment, that requires learning, that requires a commitment to be a student of life. Because if you do not know enough to guide them where they need to go, then how are you leading them, right? So a leader has to be a reader, a leader has to be a learner, a leader has to be an avid student of life, consistently, hungrily, developing a strong sense of mind and taking in so that they can share, so they can pour, so they can guide. And so for me, that's what a leader is. A leader is not a perfect person. A leader is not a special person. Nurture or nature. Some people are favorably disposed to having some skill sets that make them look like a better leader. But it requires a commitment to learn, because dynamics change, people change, different people come in, and you need to learn different styles to deal with each one of them. So I have this book I wrote on leadership, and I have a tip that I have there that talks about the 7 dimensions of leadership. And I talk about the importance of self-leadership. I talk about the importance of service. I talk about the importance of influence. But I also talk about the importance of later becoming a dynamic leader, so you can deal with the different types of people and their different requirements. I talk about the importance of multiplying yourself as a leader, because if a leader is only creating followers, then you're not being very sustainable. Because a leader needs to be also looking at building other leaders who can also build other leaders. That's how the total community grows, right? So you need to be able to multiply yourself. You need to be able to have a vision, a foresight that you can see. And these usually come when you start dealing with people a lot and you're dealing with a lot of experiences. You start to kind of get a feel of what's going to happen, or have an idea of where you need to go. A leader must also, beyond multiplying, think generationally. You need to be comfortable doing things that you're never going to get credit for. You need to be comfortable planting a seed to grow a tree under which shade you will never sit. You need to be comfortable that somebody else is going to get the credit for all the work you're doing, and you need to be comfortable with the idea that you may be forgotten, but your work and your vision will never be forgotten. And even as you multiply people, remember that each one of them has a unique dispensation and may have the ability to be greater than you ever even imagined to. So you don't create copies of yourself. What you do is you just stoke that vision within them, so they are reminded of it and they do it their way. All in an effort to make sure that the overall vision is achieved. And for me, that's what leadership is. I mean, we can use different semantics to describe it, but fundamentally, can you lead? Which is very different from managing. A lot of times we mistake management for leadership. Management is more around processes. How do we get processes to work? But leadership is about people, understanding people in their complexities, loving them all the same, getting them to trust you all the same, and taking them where they need to go. That's leadership. And I'm being careful here. I'm being careful because, you see, I cannot pretend that I know the world you're going to walk in. I cannot pretend that I know the problems you're going to face. I cannot pretend that I even know as much as you should know when you're my age. I can only tell you what I have learned, and I can only encourage you to prepare yourself for what is coming. The world is changing every single day. And I have learned in my short time in life that humility will take you places. Gratitude will take you places. Connecting to God will take you places. Leadership, or let me rephrase this the way John Maxwell says it, everything rises and falls on leadership. And so, whenever you hit a wall, look within your community and ask who's leading, because that usually can tell you where the problem is coming from. People are all you have. You know, there's this new trend where everybody wants to show that I did it on my own, nobody helped me. It's actually one of the most false dichotomies that you can ever come across. Nobody does it on your own. Even when they've lived in a room by themselves, somebody gave birth to them. So people have always played a role in your life. Embrace it. Do not try to take on the world by yourself. It doesn't work. You need people. You need people that work with you, for you, or that you work for. So open your heart to leadership. Open your heart to self-leadership. Learn to manage yourself, your thoughts, who you let into your corner. Lead with gratitude, humility, because it opens your eyes to what is around you. Tap into the abundance mindset. Believe that everything you will ever need is already here. The question is, are you going to convert it to work for you, or are you going to wait for others to come and use it against you? That's the question. The most important natural resource today is you and people your age. And the world has had plans 20, 30, 50 years ahead for you and your colleagues and your future children. Are you going to sit around and let the world happen to you? Or are you going to start thinking about your future and that of your colleagues and that of those who follow you? If your colleagues are not ready, then maybe the world is asking you to lead. And so be thoughtful about it, be mindful about it, and start learning about it so that you can determine the future of you and your family and your colleagues and everybody else around you. That's what I have to say. God bless you. Words of wisdom, oh my goodness. Read your Bible. That's all I'm going to say. Read your Bible. The answers are all there. No matter how complicated it seems, no matter how cliche it may sound, read your Bible. All the answers are there. And tap into that abundance mindset. You'll be amazed at the gifts, the tools, and the things that you have to take on this world that seems so complicated. Read the manual, the Bible. Thank you.